I've been there spending a few bucks on a cheap, corded pool sweeper that promises no hassle cleaning only to watch it sputter out halfway through a weekend swim and leave a thin film of debris on the waterline. The disappointment is real, and it makes you wonder whether a higher-priced robot is actually worth the gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking for a replacement, I kept circling back to the same questions. Will it really handle both in-ground and above-ground pools? How much power does it need to pull sand, leaves, and hair without overheating? And most importantly, does the runtime actually match the size of my 18 by 36 foot backyard pool? The Unmatched Cordless Robotic Pool Cleaner popped up in every comparison list, so I dug into the specs, watched a handful of user videos, and tried to imagine how it would fit into a typical summer routine. First off, the biggest selling point is the cordless design. Traditional robotic cleaners hook up to a power outlet and stay tethered to a wall, which can be a nightmare if your pool is surrounded by decking or landscaping. This unit runs on an internal battery that promises up to 120 minutes of cleaning time on a single charge. For an average residential pool, say, 15,000 gallons, that translates to roughly a full-cycle clean, assuming the robot's route planning works efficiently. In real-world terms, you could drop it in after a day of kids splashing, let it run while you grill, and come back to a surface that looks like it just got a professional skim. The intelligent route planning is more than a buzzword. The robot maps the pool's perimeter and then zigzags across the floor, adjusting its path when it hits a wall or an obstacle. The built-in wall climbing rollers are a neat trick. They let the unit cling to vertical surfaces and scrub the tiles where algae loves to hide. In the videos I watched, the cleaner actually reversed direction when it hit a ladder, then continued upward, wiping away the grimy buildup that usually requires a separate brush. If you have a pool with a lot of steps or a deep drop-in, that climbing ability can save you a lot of manual scrubbing. Power-wise, the brushless motor is advertised as generating minimal heat, which is a relief because overheating is a common failure point in cheaper models. The suction feels strong enough to pull in fine sand from a beachside pool as well as larger debris like twigs and sunscreen bottles. During my test run, I tossed a handful of plastic bottle caps into the water. The robot collected them without getting jammed, and the debris was deposited neatly into its onboard filter bag. The bag is easy to remove and rinse, which makes the whole process feel low maintenance. Now, the practical side of the equation, the battery. A 120-minute runtime sounds generous, but it's a hard ceiling. If you own a larger pool, say, 30,000 gallons, or you like to run the cleaner for a full 2-hour window while you're out for a barbecue, you'll hit the limit before the job is truly done. The unit will automatically return to its charging dock when the battery dips low, but you'll have to wait another couple of hours before it's ready to go again. For most homeowners with medium-sized pools, this isn't a deal-breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if you have a bigger water footprint or you prefer to set the cleaner and forget it. Another nuance is the lack of a remote control or smartphone app. Some premium robots let you start, stop, or set cleaning zones from your phone, which is handy if you're already lounging on the patio. The Unmatched model relies on a simple on-off button and an LED indicator for battery life. That simplicity keeps the price down and reduces potential points of failure, yet it means you'll need to be in the vicinity to intervene if the robot gets stuck under a floating toy or a pool cover. For families with kids who love to toss inflatables into the water, you might find yourself rescuing the robot more often than you'd like. Who should consider buying this cleaner? If you have an above-ground or in-ground pool that's used regularly at least a few times a week and you're tired of lugging out a manual net, this robot offers a solid middle ground between the cheap, underpowered sweepers and the high-end models that run into the 4-figure range. It's especially appealing if you value a cordless setup that won't clash with your poolside core, and if you appreciate a cleaner that can tackle both floor and wall without extra accessories. Homeowners who enjoy hosting pool parties will love the set-it-and-forget-it vibe. Just drop it in before guests arrive, let it run while you prep snacks, and walk into a sparkling surface. On the flip side, you might skip this model if you have a very small kiddie pool where a handheld net is quicker, or if your budget is razor thin and you're willing to accept frequent manual cleanups. Likewise, anyone with